We hope you know you can always find us, too, on that local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station, and you can watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV, and if you do, you'll see a beautiful photo of 5 cute little kids, and they're getting ready to turn 1. This time last year, we were talking to their mom, Haylee Ladner, who's joining us again today, preparing for the birth of the Quintuplets, the story of the Quintuplets that took over the nation. So, welcome back, Haylee.
Hey, how are you?
You survived, or almost survived a year. Friday will be their first birthday, but you survived.
Yes, I did. I survived, but it's been a great year with my baby.
Absolutely, it has. Okay, let's go back in time, Haylee, because this time last year, we were gearing up for the birth of these beautiful miracles there at UMC. And what kind of set the stage for us then, and then fast forward to us now?
So this time last year, it would actually be tomorrow, I got the news that I would actually be having the babies on the 16th, which was the following day at 9 in the morning, which at the time was really scary for me because in my mind, and I think every mother goes through this when you're about to have a baby, you feel this sense of, but I can protect them if they're still with me. So there was like this fear, especially since they did come early at 28 weeks, of them coming at that point because I wanted to protect them still. So the following day on the 16th at around 9 in the morning, we went in for a C-section, and all of my babies were born within a minute of each other. I didn't get to see them that day. I had to wait until the following day to see them just to give me some recovery time from the procedure. But it was very surreal. Honestly, I don't remember much from the day of delivery. It was just a lot that happened so fast, but I do remember the next day after I had them, getting to see them for the first time, and that was just a magical moment for me.
And these babies truly are miracles. Your husband and yourself have been, hoping to expand your family, and it took a little while to do that. So when you finally got the news that you were pregnant, Haylee, y'all were ecstatic. But then you learned, you're pregnant with 5 of them little heartbeats. And so that's where your journey sort of began. But as a mom of 2, Haylee, everybody tells me, yes, the journey begins at conception, but it really doesn't begin until you take them home. So I know that your littles had to stay a little while longer just due to some precautions and growth things. When you finally got to take them home, Haylee, what was life like as a family of 7?
It was amazing. It was definitely a shock. So I didn't bring them all home at the same time. I actually brought my son Jake home first. He came home, and I had him for about 5 days before I brought any of my girls home. But as soon as my girls started coming home, they came home within a day of each other. So I didn't have that much time to adjust to having 1 to 5 children. But it was definitely a shock. I think, though, it was great because I realized I could hold my babies whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to ask anyone to get them for me, or if it was okay for me to hold them. Like when I brought Jake home, I don't think I put him down that whole first day that I brought him home. And we didn't get a lot of sleep with all 5 being there, but we had lots of help, and we just went with it. We found a routine that worked best for us, and we were just happy that, our home had finally become what people say would be a home. It went from being a house to a home, with our family finally being with us, all united.
And you don't know any different in fairness. For you guys, you and your husband, you don't know what life is like without 5 babies running around, right? So it's kind of gotten to be normal for you guys. Are they running around? Are we up crawling into everything? I can't imagine trying to keep 10 little hands from getting into all the things.
So they're all crawling. My son is actually about to walk. He is right there at it. If he can just get his balance, he's pulling up on everything. He's going to take off one day. I think he's trying to get away from all of his sisters. But everyone's crawling. We actually have a huge play yard in our living room. It's like 89 by 89 inches, so that kind of keeps them contained so that they're not into everything and we're not running all over the house like crazy mad people all the time trying to chase them. So we do have that for them. That helps a lot with keeping them contained.
The beauty of the first year, Haylee, which you've been able to witness, is their little personalities really start to come out and shine close to their first birthday. So I know, you hear they're not necessarily twins, but you hear parents who have twins or triplets all the time saying, I can't believe these 2 or 3 things came from the same place, but dang, they're so different. So you got 5. Do you have 5 very distinct personalities, or do some sort of partner up in crime together to give you at least a little bit of the same in 1 or 2?
So I have 5. My girls are actually identical. They're identical quads. So they look the same. They're very similar in that regard. But all of my kids are so different from one another. They all each have different personalities. My son, typically, he's like the boss of the situation. He's the only boy. He's more mobile than the girl, so he goes around and does his own thing. My girls, they typically tend to flock together. They really do. They play so well together, and they just look at each other and laugh and babble, and that's my favorite thing to get to see is just watching them communicate with one another. I wish I knew what they were saying in their little baby language because they seem so happy when they're around each other. But my girls are still very different from one another. I have, my oldest daughter, Adeline. She's very much the oldest child. She's very independent. My daughter, Mally Kate, is very analytical. She was my tiniest. She is very observant. She takes everything in. My daughter, Everly, we call her our little giggle box because she laughs at everything. She thinks everything is hilarious. And then my daughter, Magnolia, we always joke about one day she's going to be a pageant queen because she is just so proper and dainty, and she just smiles and lights up a room anytime anyone's around her. She's very social, too.
We talk about the fact that your quintuplets, Haylee, were truly a miracle, not just in the fact for you and your husband to finally become parents, but also just in the feat of carrying to term at least to 28 weeks, quintuplets, and then the procedure of obviously giving them birth, and then, here. So what's the first birthday like? I mean, you guys are celebrating, such joy and, so many good things that had to come together for them to make it here. So what's the theme for the birthday party?
So we actually didn't do a theme for them. We just decided to do kind of like a generic theme just because I do have girls and I have a boy. So it was kind of hard to pick a cohesive theme for that. So we just decided to go with a generic theme, but they're each going to have their own smash cake. We're going to decorate the venue. We're going to have family and friends around, and it's just going to be a great time. We've already celebrated the occasion by having their 1 year cake smash photos taken by the same photographer that took their newborn picture. So that was really fun to get to see them and get to see them try the cake smash for the first time before their party. So I'm excited to see how they'll do with a repeat of that on Friday. So
by now they're eating salads at a year. What's their favorite food? Are they all picky eaters, or they got one dish that mom makes that all 5 like? Like, I can't imagine trying to please 5 of them at one time, Haylee. I got 2, and that's hard enough.
They're actually really not picky eaters. They really like pretty much everything that we've given them. The only thing that I've seen any of them turn down, which I've seen all of them turn down, is peas. They don't like peas. But everything else they seem to really like. I haven't really seen them spit anything out and just not want anything to do with it. They seem to be fairly good eaters, all 5 of them.
I feel like that movie, Look Who's Talking, comes to mind, and I'm just convinced that they probably are all talking to each other about, like, XA on the peas. Like, let's just all band together, and then she won't make them anymore. If they did want to gang up against you, though, Haylee, you're not necessarily, well, you are outnumbered, but, I know you and your husband will definitely be able to handle it. So after all this time, you've got a year with them, and then obviously you had the 28 weeks preparing for them. Has it still just been a blur or whirlwind, or you finally settled in and feel like this is life?
I definitely feel like it's life. Like, I'm used to waking up to them and having them here and, getting to enjoy life with them. But I think time has just gone by so fast. It is so true what people say about if you blink, your baby is going to just grow up right before your eyes. Like, my babies I don't even know how they're 1 yet. Like, I can't even fathom that in my head.
Well,
to
they
imagine
are.
that on Friday they'll be one.
And they're beautiful, and we continue to love your story, Haylee, and wish the best for you and your family. And the next time we talk, we'll have to talk before they go to start kindergarten. But your next one up is terrible twos, terrible threes. We'll check back in and see how you coping then. How about that?
That sounds great.
Alrighty, I appreciate your time, and you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.